guys, I am Pixel Dan. Thank you once again for joining me for another interview segment. Today I am here with the folks over at Mattel from the Masters of the Universe team. Please welcome Reuben Martinez and Josh Graham. How's it going, fellas?
Hey, Dan.
Going well.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's really awesome to see you guys again. I'm excited to talk about Masters of the Universe. We haven't really done this since PowerCon last year, so I feel like we've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, and we've been pretty busy working on some projects you might have heard about recently. So, but
A few little things.
Happy to take the time and answer your questions and show you some cool stuff.
Excellent. Yeah, so we've got some new things that Josh and Reuben are going to be showing us today, which I'm excited that we'll get some new reveals and stuff like that. But before we dive into all the new stuff, I wanted to go ahead and ask you guys some questions, particularly about the Origins toy line. So the Origins line has been going strong for about a year now, a little over a year now. And I know I see a lot of the same kind of questions from the fans all the time. So I wanted to throw some of those at you guys. Whatever you're able to answer for us, I think it would be great. So
Sure.
with Origins, this was a big retail rollout. And I know it started as a Walmart exclusive. It opened up to other retailers in 2021. And that also extended to a lot of the online stores. So it's been easier to pre-order a lot of the figures at a lot of these online stores, which has been great. But one thing I've been seeing and a lot of fans have been seeing is that like places like Walmart and Target only seem to have He-Man and Skeletor and Battle-Cat on the shelves, and it's very hard to find anything else. Can you guys maybe speak to like why that might be happening? Is it because there's so many extra Skeletors being produced, or what's going on with that?
So you're going to get me in trouble with Walmart and Target.
Good answer.
So, I will say we certainly didn't plan to relaunch the brand in the middle of a pandemic. This is something that we as a company and we as a team wanted to do for a while. Obviously, kind of no one saw COVID coming, and that presented a number of challenges for us, both at a company level and in our team for MOTU. I think that part of it has been navigating the challenges of a COVID world. And also, I would say that the fan response to this line releasing has just been phenomenal. It's been great. We love seeing the passion. We love seeing the arguments of people online. We love the enthusiasm. And so, we also hear the frustration. It's something that we continue to work with our retail partners on to kind of try to find that balance between developing figures that can go to the right places at the right time so everyone that wants a character can get them, but also continually producing new characters for fans that are asking for them. So it is a little bit of kind of a tightrope walk, but we totally hear the frustration. Like I said, it's something that we work diligently with our retail partners on to try to improve. And we are continually looking for more solutions to get product out, even some of the stuff from when we first launched, out to areas or to people that didn't get a chance the first time around.
Okay, that's good. That was actually going to be one of my questions, is if you were planning to maybe do reissues of some of the figures from early on that a lot of people seem to miss out on. Like Wave 2 hit Walmart, and it really hasn't seemed to be anywhere else but Walmart. So I know a lot of people missed the second wave.
Yeah, and that's our goal. Obviously, like I said, there's more people involved than us in getting a product from, the factory to a consumer's hands. But like I said, we hear the asks, we hear the and we'll continue to work on for you guys.
Very cool. All right, so next I'm going to go in talk about another thing I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of people talking about, but it's the Target exclusive Rise of Evil 2-pack. It has been quite the challenge to find this particular set. You know, the exclusives already have a bit of a stigma with them, and I understand that this is how your retail partnerships work. But it seems like there's almost like not enough of those for the demand. I think stores are only getting like 2 at a time. And it seems like a lot of people are missing out on this set. So is this something that you guys might continue to roll out, or is there maybe potential for future pre-order opportunities for some of these exclusives? Anything you can give us on that?
Yeah, I would say for the retail-based exclusives, it's my understanding that if they keep seeing demand for it, they'll continue to produce. Or rather, you know, they'll continue to order and we'll keep producing. Part of that is each retailer's strategy on how often they will replenish their supply. So it might be that Target just has a company policy in place that they only order 2 boxes at a time. I don't know. But like I said, it's my understanding from the Target side that if they keep seeing demand, then they're going to keep ordering pieces and we'll keep producing them. So it might not be that they're all available at the start, but I believe there should be more on the way without spilling too much, and that you would continue to see that available for as long as people are asking for them.
Okay, very cool. And I know that you can't give a lot of that kind of information, so I do appreciate you addressing it and talking about it. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but I know that particular 2-pack has caused quite a bit of frustration with the fan community because it's a cool set. You know, a lot of people want that, color, especially. So I totally understand. It's been very hard to find that particular set.
Yeah, and I would just finish it off by saying it certainly is a learning opportunity for a lot of our retail partners too, in how the exclusive kind of area works specifically for MOTU. And I think they will continue to do a better job in partnership with us as we roll out more opportunities in the future.
Very cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you addressing those questions. And we've got a lot of other things to get into. I'm sure I'll have more questions along the way. So let's go ahead and start with the PowerCon exclusives. How about that? Since those just got announced, we got to see lots of fun new things that are going to be available for PowerCon, which is coming up September 11th and 12th. So what can you guys tell us about these? Where do you want to start with them?
Reuben, you want to take this one?
Okay, sure. But first off, Dan, which one is your favorite one?
My favorite one is the Castle Grayskull accessory set.
Let's start there. So first off, let me do this. I want to say that as far as con exclusives go, these were probably the funnest batch of products that I've worked on in a very long time. So Sam Pack, who is the lead designer on this product, and I both really gave a lot of thought, and I think we came up with some really fun stuff. So in the case of Castle Grayskull, we knew that when we produced Castle Grayskull, that we had to make it so that it was better than the original. Not better, I don't want to say better. There were some differences from our Origins product than the original. And as you saw, some of the chip art on the original was replaced with plastic pieces of the computer screen.
Right.
Right. But we knew we wanted to do the space armor, but we couldn't put it in there in the time we needed to because it was a new figure. So we immediately said, PowerCon's coming up. Let's think about putting the spacesuit as an exclusive. And then it started getting built upon. It was like everything that we wanted to put in the mainline version of Castle Grayskull, we did for PowerCon. It's just, all things being equal, we wanted all of that stuff to be in the original Castle Grayskull, but we have to be mindful about price points and whatnot at retail.
Sure.
And that stuff would have just took it up to a point where, some of our retailer partners would have been like, whoa, I don't know if I want it, at that price point. But what we love about it is that we know that the people that truly love this brand will buy this item because it's everything they know they need to make their Castle Grayskull even better than it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when I was doing the review of the castle, that was one of the things I was like, where is the suit of armor? We can't have Castle Grayskull without the suit of armor. But I even kind of talked about like it'd be really cool if they did it as a full-on action figure. And look at you guys. It's like you read our minds.
Well,
we watch the reviews. We know what's going on.
There's that. We do watch. But if you look at the castle now, there's a foot peg.
Yep.
Where the suit should be. Now, short of us putting like hole prints, like of their feet, like footprints that say space armor goes here, that was kind of our nod to let people know that this was coming.
Yeah, we caught it.
Yeah.
We caught it.
Okay,
and
good.
it's very cool. It's very cool. So that was why, as soon as I saw this accessory set, I was like,
yeah,
man, that's perfect.
So that was really cool. But then we were also thinking like, oh, we should put the Spirit of Grayskull in there. And then let's really make the dungeon a functional piece. And like I said, I think as a fan, I'm really happy with the stuff that we did because it's everything that you would want in the set. And now we know that the people that truly love the set will be going after these pieces.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think there's a little, there's a little bit of a dance we have to do between, what is the right opportunity from a business perspective, but also as a team, we really try to embrace a what if mentality. And so a lot of our team meetings are based around, well, we saw this in a mini comic once, or, I was Googling old posters of this, that, and the other, and, we saw this character in there. What if we did this? What if we made that into a full figure?
Okay, so can you explain like the Spirit of Grayskull? Does that like attach to the top, or does it just kind of sit up in the tower?
Well, okay, so on the top of the turrets where the flag goes, there's a notch for the flag.
Mm-hmm.
So other things can attach there in the line.
Nice.
As well as the Spirit of Grayskull.
Oh, so other things too. I like it. Very
So
cool.
Spirit of Grayskull attaches up there. It's clear molded. It looks ghostly and spooky. So I felt like I could give you this insight that back when we were doing the classics Grayskull, an initial concept had a Spirit of Grayskull piece as part of it.
Oh.
I think we moved away from it, obviously.
Right.
So when we were doing this and we're like, we got to add it. So that's where it will attach. Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a really cool piece. I'm very excited to see it there. And then with that dungeon grate, can you kind of explain how that piece works?
Sure. So the dungeon grate, literally at the bottom of Castle Grayskull, there's a little lip and there's a step. The Castle Grayskull piece will slide right in there, covering the existing label. So I didn't want any labels. Unfortunately, I had to add it there. But you get the actual dungeon piece that goes over it. Now, what's cool about the dungeon piece is the door opens and shuts. So you can attach the tentacle inside with the door open, or you could close the door and have the tentacle snap in and have it look like it's coming out. The tentacle has a bendy in it, so you can wrap it around a figure and make it look like someone's been captured by it.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, this is a fantastic set. I think it's definitely my favorite. I'm really excited that we can just basically trick out our Castle Grayskull now and get all these extra pieces. And that dungeon grate is like special because we've never had a physical dungeon grate before. It's always been a sticker. Even in classics, It was a sticker. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun one. But for my dollar, out of all the PowerCon exclusives, my favorite, slightly edging out this one, is the Stinkor 2-pack.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Okay, so as you guys know, the Stinkor is a nod to that very, very rare figure that none of us or hardly any of us own.
The Leo Toys Faker.
The Leo Toys version from India, I believe, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And it was interesting because one of the reasons why I was kind of leaning towards that figure was because I remember one year at PowerCon, I was there and I saw how many people were making, their own versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a whole booth and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And it's like, I was aware of the character and I personally wasn't ever really like, oh my God, that's amazing, other than the rarity. But to see how much interest there was in that character, I was like, mental note. So when we were coming up with this item, when we said, let's do a faker and let's do like a reverse He-Man, we're like, all right, let's do the Leo Toys version. And then when we came up with the cat, we were like, let's make him Copycat. That makes the most sense. And that came from our designer, Sam Pack. And oh my God, we just started like spitballing and just throwing all kinds of stuff out there. We were playing with colors and everything. So I think from a sheer just uniqueness, this is probably one of my favorite items, mainly because we're putting something out there into the MOTU universe that has never really been there from Mattel.
Okay, so Duplicate is actually the name, right? I think that's the name that was on the press release.
Yeah, that's my fault. Marketing coming in and thinking we're more clever than design sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But, it's a good name. I like Duplicate. Copycat, simple, but they're both great names.
It is cool. And the Faker version of Battle Cat's one of those things, like I've definitely seen like fans do versions of that over the years. And so this is kind of like our first like official like Faker Battle Cat that we've ever had before, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, it's really neat because I think it's something that it feels natural, and it's something that I think everybody wants. And if they don't want it, I don't know what to say about that, because it's going to be amazing. Honestly, there's a couple of little hidden Easter eggs on it that when you get it, they make me chuckle every time I see them. So
awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
And it's nice to be able to take the opportunity, and create a figure that obviously the fans love and want, and kind of add it to canon in a way, by making it like a real manufactured item. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is definitely a very cool 2-pack, and the Leo Faker, like Reuben was talking about, that's like right up my alley. I love stuff like that. I think that makes a perfect exclusive item because it's so niche and obscure, but very cool. So hopefully we'll see Camo Con at some point too. Wink, wink. All right. So the last PowerCon exclusive is that Evil Horde 4-pack. So what can you guys tell us about those?
It's awesome too. It has 4 great characters in it, and I think the figure I'm most excited about is Grizzlor.
Yeah, it's another one of those deep cut things, right?
It is a deep cut. It's the dark version, face version of him. But the really interesting part about that figure is, and I laugh about it, but his fur allows him to have all the articulation that you get in a MOTU Origins figure. So the waist, it's same amount of articulation. So in a way, when you look at it, he looks like he has furry underwear, but it's all hidden and it's all put together in such a way that it allows, so we had to cut it up into pieces, but it works well, it looks great. And it's just funny because every time I think about it, all I see is those, the furry underwear, but the product is really, really cool. And it's probably one of my favorite figures we've done in a very long time. And then you have the Horde Troopers. I mean, can't go wrong with army building characters, right? So the black and the red version of them, I think they look really great. That was one of my favorite figures as a kid. I never got them. I always played with my friends. So hopefully I get one now. But those guys are really cool. And then just rounding it out is the Hordak. You need Hordak. So I think the subtle changes that we made to him with the color, the new arm, he looks good too. But Grizzlor for me is a star of that pack, and everybody else is great, but Grizzlor's just awesome.
And I will say, Dan, we can't show anything yet, but the packaging on this item is just phenomenal. It's some of the best packaging I've seen our team do. And I'm really, really excited to show you guys. We just don't have anything yet, but we will soon.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I assumed that this was going to be the one that had like a big fancy box. So I'm very excited to hear that. I'm anxious to see it.
It actually comes in a poly bag.
A poly bag. Nice. So let me ask you on that Grizzlor. You talked about it having all the articulation, which is great. Like I look at the picture and the fur looks so much like the vintage one, which I was happy to see that he had the fur. I feel like that's important for the character. Yeah. But since he's got all that articulation, does he have the interchangeability also, or is it yes?
Yes. So that is part of the reason why he has furry underwear, because we had to make sure that we broke it down into the components that allowed us to give that mix and match capability. As you guys know, with some of our deluxe figures, because of the mechanism that we have in them, like battle damage He-Man, those arms aren't removable. But that's usually the point where we can't remove stuff because it's a mechanism in the chest. So wherever we can, we always try to make the figures break down so that you can get that type of play out of them and interchangeability.
This was something I was really impressed with our design team, how they handled the flocked Panther. Because if you think of the original, it's just a statue, and then they threw this cover on it that's furry, right? And that the team was able to give it the flocking, but also keep all of the articulation is great. And I think that's what they did for the Grizzlor as well, and it's phenomenal.
That's really impressive, and I can't wait to see the funny mix and matches we're going to get with that. Well, I can already see like furry chest He-Man out there and stuff like that. So the Horde Troopers look like they have the push buttons. Do they have the push button action feature?
They do have the mechanism, yes.
Wow. So does it work similar to the vintage where you press it and the chest kind of opens up and they flop over?
Yes.
Very
and
cool.
yes, they do. And we took a lot of time to make sure that the head position, because if you were to do, since they are mixed and matchable, if in one version of our product, when we put a He-Man head where the existing head of the Horde Trooper was, he looked like this.
Oh yeah,
So we had to make sure that everything, if I wanted to do that, classic, Luke and Stormtrooper disguise routine, He-Man, it had to look good. So we made sure that everything lined up and everything looked good, so it's still swappable as well. And I'm fairly certain, I'll have to double check, but a lot of that figure is removable as well.
Really? Wow, that's really cool. Even though he's got the action feature, we still have part swaps. Nice.
Don't quote me on it, because honestly, I have a lot of information in my head, unfortunately.
You're being recorded, so you're all quoted right now. Sorry.
Yeah, but
we're gonna have to talk after this.
I'll plead temporary insanity, but I do believe parts of the figure are still removable. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So
I know the head is.
The head is. Okay, that's great. So I think it's safe to assume by looking at a red and black Horde Trooper and the dark Grizzlor that we're going to be getting the more standard colorations of those at the retail line at some point. And
we've made a decision at Mattel that we're going to retire that figure permanently from any other. No.
Great. Yeah, great.
Yeah. He will make it out eventually.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that we do it in a way that, obviously PowerCon is one of our favorite events of the year. It's a chance for us to connect with our fans and to deliver them something that they can really feel special about getting. And so, if we do a mainline version, then it would be different, it would be unique, so that you still feel like, if you're buying the Lord of Power, if you're buying the She-Ra, if you're buying now the upcoming Horde multi-pack, things like that, you're not just getting gypped, that there is some exclusivity to it, that there's value to it, and we want to make sure that we deliver that for our fans.
Excellent. Very cool. And I think that wraps up all of the PowerCon exclusives, correct? Or at least everything we know of at the moment. So just to make
sure that's it.
You hope that's it. So
otherwise we're in trouble.
So just to make sure the fans know what's going on, the pre-orders for those will be happening at thepower-con.com, and those come up this Saturday, correct? May 15th is when those begin. And then for those of you who aren't going to attend the convention, there is going to be an opportunity to order those online as well. So I will definitely link to all that in the video description. Check it out. I guess the last thing I want to ask you guys, I know there's always the worry about limits on exclusives. Do you think that there's going to be enough of these to go around for everybody that wants to order them?
I mean, we do want them to be special, sure. But we also recognize that not everyone's able to make it out to PowerCon, and that, that can cause some challenges. So we're looking at ways to potentially deliver this stuff out. But, I think first and foremost, our priority is PowerCon and making sure that the attendees feel like they're getting rewarded for their participation, and they should.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for the insight on the PowerCon exclusives. And now I believe we've got some new things to talk about with Masters of the Universe Origins. Is that correct?
That is correct. I know there's a lot of question marks swirling around kind of what to expect in the second half of the year. We know that the Wind Raider was recently shown earlier this week,
Yes.
but we'd love to take a chance to talk to you about it and then also look at some of the figures who haven't been shown yet.
Let's do that. Yeah. So you just made a pretty good point. I feel like we've been finding out about a lot of these things by getting images from the retailers. So
yeah,
like what's going on, guys? You got like a Twitter account and stuff. You should be totally sharing these photos out to us.
I will say, at least from my standpoint, the team has been really, really working hard on a lot of the stuff that's coming out, I'd say, in the next year. Obviously, with Masterverse being the big reveal this week as well, that certainly has been taking up a lot of our time.
Sure.
We've got more things on the horizon we can't talk about yet, but the team has just been really, really hard at work developing a lot of this great product. And so, I think we want to take the opportunity to share some stuff with you. And then obviously, we look to PowerCon and our partner over there, Val Staples, as a great opportunity to also show what's coming up next year as well.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's jump into it then. Wind Raider, is that where you want to start?
Sure.
All right. So we've got an image here, a nice official image of the Wind Raider, which is such an iconic vehicle from the original line, kind of like the main He-Man vehicle when you think of it that way. So what can you tell us about the Wind Raider?
It's big.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's so, as you guys know, with everything we do with Origins, we try to improve upon some of the stuff that we did originally with the product.
Sure.
And I think with the Wind Raider originally, it's a nice vehicle. I love the vehicle, but it was really small.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing is, I want to say, almost not as big, but pretty big, almost as big as the classics version.
Oh, wow.
And that thing was huge.
Yeah, that one was huge.
So this one is substantially larger than the original product. So it seats a 5.5-inch scale figure. It has a lot of decoration on it. It looks really nice. It has the tow hitch on the front. You could shoot the tow hitch out and retract it. The moving wings. It's a nice, really nice and faithful recreation of the original product made better. And that's what I think with Origins we're always trying to do, is just plus it up where we can.
Sure.
And
yeah.
Nice one, yeah.
And Reuben, this one comes with the flight stand as well, which I think you hinted at earlier that there are things coming out in the line that may or may not combine well with Castle Grayskull.
I was wondering if this was one of the things.
So yes, thank you, Josh. I forget. So this also comes with a flight stand, and it also comes with a little module piece or a stand that looks like Castle Grayskull, like the rock components of Castle Grayskull. So you'll be seeing more of those type of components, kind of like what we did with the slab piece of the dungeon for PowerCon. So that piece is meant to look like Castle Grayskull, but you could remove the Wind Raider and part of the stand and place it on the top turret where the flag goes, if I'm not mistaken, in that notch, so it looks like it's flying overhead or over Castle Grayskull.
That is really cool. And it really just kind of fits in with the whole interchangeable play of all of the figures and everything in this line too. So we've got all these options to like customize Castle Grayskull. Like that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I think what we're trying to do is, I think we want to make sure that we're giving as much love to Castle Grayskull as we do everything. And even the vehicles, we kind of always want that to be the place where everybody goes back to and plays, So
Sure.
If we can put stuff back onto Castle Grayskull and use it as a hub for everything, it's kind of fun, and it's been fun designing stuff for that.
And I mentioned this funny last time we were on here, that our kind of mission behind Origins is to take everything that the MOTU line offered as a kit that you could imagine it doing and then bring it to life in a way that it can actually do it now. So, you know, going from 5 points of articulation to 16, you can pose them out in different ways. You can swap body parts. You can, you know, create this world around, you know, Castle Grayskull, obviously as Castle Grayskull, but really your favorite moments as a kid, you can recreate and kind of swap, move things around, play. Like, we want to make it fun for kids and adults to kind of create those moments. And so it's something that we're going to continue doing with everything that comes out.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And yeah, you mentioned that it's got the same kind of grappling hook thing that shoots, and you can wind it back just like the vintage one. So yeah, this looks like a really fun, really exciting vehicle.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Very cool. What's the release date on this one? This is coming up pretty quick, right?
You should see it out this summer. Yeah.
This summer. Excellent.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I know it's one that I'm really excited about. I've always loved the Wind Raider. So let's go ahead and move on. What do you want to talk about next?
I mean, you know, we can kind of go through the list. There's a few of them here. One I mentioned already is going to be the single release of our Lords of Power Beastman.
Yeah. So we got a photo of that here that I'll make sure we're showing everybody. So it does look like that this one is quite a bit different than the PowerCon release. Pretty cool. I see what you guys are doing there.
I see what we're doing there?
I do. Yeah, I love it. So he's kind of got that classic like prototype red beast design, right? With the gold and the red. He looks great.
Yeah, so I love to give credit where credit is due. Sam obviously did a great job of executing this product, but I know you are familiar with Bill Beneke.
Uh-huh.
And we were having a conversation once about this, and we were talking about it. He goes, why don't you just make it all red like the concept art? I'm like, Bill, we keep you around here for a reason, and that's it. No, we keep them around for a great deal of reasons, but it was just like sometimes when you're so close to something, you can't see the forest through the trees.
Sure.
And Bill was just like, why don't we just do this? And we're like, oh, okay, that sounds great. So it is, I think it's a meaningful redeco of a vintage figure that no one ever saw, and now we're giving you another version of it.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know me, I love this sort of thing. Anything that like is an homage to old concepts or anything like that, that is right up my alley. So as soon as I saw this repaint, I was like, that's perfect. That's a perfect way to re-release that figure and make it different than the other version.
And honestly, too, what the strategy is to be very translucent and transparent. I'm sorry, not translucent. I'm using a toy phrase. We want to make sure that the collectors that see this on shelf have the same reaction that you have. The people that know, they know. You know, it's like, I see what they did there. You know, and I think we do that for them. We do that for all those fans that will really appreciate it. And that's the thing that we really find meaningful. So I'm glad you noticed.
And I would say too that at the end of the day also it's a cool looking figure and it's fun to put out there, and you know, it invites you to explore the mythos of Eternia, even if you're not immediately aware of them as well. So
absolutely, very cool. All right, we got a couple of new figure releases here. You want me just to kind of name some off to talk about? Because there's one here I'm very excited about. Always was a fan of this particular figure.
I know.
Stinkor. Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk about this one. And I was like, oh, do we save this one for the end? I feel like, Reuben, you should just tell them from the get-go what to expect.
Because you know what I'm going to ask already, so you might as well just...
Yes, I know. So he does smell. He will have the patchouli scent.
Yes.
And I'll give you this little bit of information. We were exploring other scents, and some of these other scents, oh my goodness.
I am really glad you stuck with the patchouli.
It's not good. They were not.
So
pleasant.
you were considering making him actually stink, like bad, like smell bad.
Well, I'll just say this, that there was a reason why patchouli at the time was off the table. So we were looking at alternates in case. So thankfully the patchouli smell became available for us to use, but the in case smells, woo. But yes, he looks great. He's awesome.
And he smells terrible.
And I'm actually waiting to get my updated samples, and we have this joke to make sure how stinky he is right out of package. So we're supposed to open it up and stick our nose in as soon as we can. So
I'm so excited.
The inner workings of Mattel corporate.
I love it.
People sniffing packages. Great.
Well, it's like that smell is so nostalgic for me, and I'm sure so many other people, that like even when I pick up a vintage Stinkor figure, like that smell is still like there. Like you might have to like really sniff it, but like it always brings back those memories. So like I think that's going to be such a key component to this figure, and like making people really like transport back to the original versions.
Well,
so glad it's there.
I mean, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with the whole line,
right,
with Origins. And you know, we're definitely looking for those opportunities wherever we can find them. So
that's awesome.
So just to be clear too, the original, I'm pretty sure that this smell is close. To say it's exact match, I will not say that, but it is patchouli.
Okay.
So it does smell very similar. I don't want people to be like, it doesn't smell 100% exactly like the original product. Sorry. Trust me, the alternative, I saved your noses. That's all I will say.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah, I'm very excited for Stinkor. It looks like he was done basically like the vintage. We got like the merman repaint, got the mechanic like armor, which is cool to see and good maybe for somebody coming down the line there that's going to reuse that armor. But yeah, very excited for this one all the way around. He looks great. All right, Fisto is another one that was announced.
So Fisto looks really cool. I mean, what to say about Fisto? He's got that giant metal hand and he looks great. This figure will be interchangeable.
Cool.
And he will not, though, have the punching feature.
That's what, yeah, I was wondering if you guys were going to include the spring-loaded arm or just make it articulated.
Yeah, it's just articulated. We try to balance that type of stuff out, like put the features in the deluxe figures where we can.
Sure.
And save them for a meaningful like character or people where we feel like the only way to do them right would be to do it with the mechanism or some type of oversized.
Yeah. and Fisto is an important enough character that we wanted to make sure he had an appearance in the line, just even if it's at the core price point and in the core style.
Yeah.
Very cool. So can I ask, with the fist, is the peg for the fist like embedded a little deeper so it's still at the wrist cut? Meaning, can I take that giant fist off and put it on Skeletor?
He does rotate. I'll have to look at my product and see if it does do that though.
Okay. All right.
Because honestly, like, you got to remember, I'm working over here and this was a while ago, so I'll have to double check.
Okay. Sounds good. That would be pretty cool though. It'd be a great interchangeable feature.
Reuben, is it too late to pivot?
I don't know. I'll have to go check. I think we may have. I don't hold me to, because honestly, like I said, sometimes there's a lot of information in the head. So
sure. No worries.
I have to make room for new information.
No worries. All right. Fisto looks great. Looks a lot like the vintage figure. Very cool. This next one I'm pretty excited for. This is the Green Goddess.
Green Goddess. Yes. She's really cool. We kind of looked at the classics version for her in terms of her color scheme.
Uh-huh. And that one was like translucent. This one doesn't look like it's going to be translucent.
No, not translucent. Okay. But color-wise, it's very close to what you saw with our classics version of her. So She was a nice, meaningful refresh. And she makes an appearance in the mini comic, if I'm not mistaken, in that issue. So there's a lot of tie-in with her.
Very cool. Yeah, she's another one of those longtime fan favorites. And yeah. I know a lot of people might look at that and just see green Tila, but for those of us who know, like this is the way the goddess appeared in those original mini comics. So, and
even when we first released our Comic-Con, the Prince Adam to He-Man 2-pack, we've kind of had her on our radar in the back of our minds as a character we want to include in the line. So
cool. Very cool. Yeah, she looks fantastic. I'm really excited to see her in this lineup. This next figure also looks really cool, and this is one I'm happy to see coming out so soon. Webstor.
This guy's really cool.
honestly one of my favorite figures as a kid.
Yeah.
It fully functions. It has the simple string mechanism, so he does raise and lower.
Oh, cool. So like, is it like you pull the little string on the bottom and he'll zip up the string? Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome.
So that works. It's also kind of cool if I don't remember if the original one did, but you could literally wrap the spool around the backpack and there's like a little clip that we added so you could like tie it off so it doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice version of Webstor. He looks great. It's a really fun looking character, and I'm glad that we were able to put that mechanism in there.
Me too. And I really like the little spool that you can wrap the rope around. That's one of those things with my vintage one. You like, where do I do with all this extra rope? Yeah, that's so cool. What a great idea.
Isn't that an issue, right? So Sam, when we were looking at it, he goes, I'm gonna have it wrap around the backpack, and then there's like a little notch where you could tie the end off on.
That's like, perfect.
Right.
Yeah,
perfect.
There we go. Awesome. Cool. I think that's all of the single figure images that you sent me. Looks like there's one larger one. Do we want to jump into that next?
Yeah. This is going to be in the US, a Target exclusive. It's battle. I know. But rest assured, as I mentioned earlier, they're learning on what collectors like. So expect to see lots of these. It's a battle damage bundle. Basically, we wanted to look at that old, the 2-pack of He-Man and Battle Cat, but create a really awesome version and kind of add our own flair to it.
That vac metal armor is slick. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So when you guys get to Flying Fists He-Man eventually, I don't want any excuses. It better have that vac metal armor.
Hey, hold on. This is a Target exclusive.
I know. Okay. All right.
All right. But the product is really nice too. So let me talk about it super quick. It's battle armor. As you can see, it's got the VUM chest. He also has an alternate head. He's got the flowing locks version. I believe this version comes with a full sword.
Yay.
No more halfies.
Yeah, good.
Full sword. Battle Cat comes with a metallic painted armor. What's really cool about this set is, once again, there's a display base that looks like a component of Castle Grayskull. So coincidentally, the Wind Raider base can kind of sit against it to make a larger portion of Castle Grayskull, like a floor maybe, that could sit on the back of Castle.
Wow. Let's say you wanted to create a battle scene in front of Castle Grayskull, then you've got several components now that all kind of, connect together in a way. And this is really, I think, for my money, the ultimate, He-Man riding Battle Cat into battle in all his glory, obviously fresh from the fight. So you see they're all cut up, and it just looks really cool. And we wanted to kind of take that moment and encapsulate it. And so,
Yeah.
I love the little critters. We got like those little creatures there.
So the critters, the little dragons are really interesting too, right? So Roy Juarez is the packaging designer on the brand, and he's really been paying homage to a lot of the original package artwork.
Yeah.
And you see all those little creatures, and you see some of those really cool characters that were background characters, and everybody's talking about Castle Grayskull and the glowing skeletons. And
yeah,
when we saw the package artwork, we were like, you know what? Or I don't know if we saw it there, but we saw it somewhere else, and we're like, why don't we start building in some of that stuff? So those two little dragon component pieces sit on the set, but if you notice them, they kind of got these little clawed hands. So you could kind of sit them on the side of Castle Grayskull, like they're climbing up the top of it off the turrets.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I said, I think what we're really trying to do is build out this world a little bit more and make the parts that we make with everything we do meaningful. And once again, I really think if kids were playing with this, which I hope they will, they'll love those little guys, but the fans and the true hardcore collectors will be like, oh, I'm going to put it on Castle Grayskull, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And the way we also see it is like, for all that fan photography that people do, these are just more props for you to work with.
That is very cool. I really love that. I think that the idea of the base and the little extra things that we can put in our displays is such a cool idea, and really just pluses out this whole set. I think that's great.
So pay attention to what you see on packaging, because it could end up being a figure.
Sooner or later.
I like it. I like it. There's been a lot of cool stuff on there on that artwork. So yeah, well, this overall set does look really cool. I love the metallics and the vac metal, and I really love the windswept hair on that He-Man. I think that looks really cool. So fingers crossed these won't be super hard to find, because I think it looks awesome.
Yeah. And I will say, speaking of He-Man heads and power swords, breaking news, Dan, you're the first to hear this, that we will be reproducing He-Man and Skeletor this fall with the vintage style heads and the full power swords as well. If you want a chance to get the vintage style head in package with the full power sword, then you'll see these starting to come out as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Actually, I'm going to ask you another question then, because I know people are finding the newest wave that has Faker in it now. And we noticed that Faker's got like the vintage style He-Man head with him instead of like the Origins He-Man head. And I love that, but I have already seen fans asking if there's like an Origins style He-Man head for Faker. I see Reuben's reaction already.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
I know, it's like you can't win, right? You do it one way or
well, who knows? Maybe one day we'll do it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we purposely, when we did Fakor, we purposely went to the vintage head, mainly because of some of the feedback we had been receiving. And like Josh says, we do pay attention to the stuff that we hear online.
Sure.
And that was one of the ones where we're like, okay, we could do that. It's just about finding the right opportunity to get it in there and making the revision. So it wasn't really a huge issue. The Fakor head, who knows? Maybe we could do something in the future. I'll put it in the memory deck.
Oh,
hopefully
there you go.
Not with anything else, but
so we also got an Evil Lyn in that wave that's like inspired by the color scheme from the 2000X series. And now we've got Keldor and Cronus in the line too. So I think it's pretty cool seeing a little bit of that era getting injected into Origins. Is that like open for possible future stuff? I know you can't reveal anything, but are you thinking about more 2000X items?
Well, Josh will attest to this. We're always we always got something going.
Sure.
So
there is definitely the what if mentality. I think it's just a question of finding the right opportunity. So it's certainly something that we're looking at. I obviously, can't promise anything right now, but
sure.
We like hearing the feedback. So
can you guys believe we're almost at the 20-year anniversary of that line?
Oh, wow.
Next year is 20 years. What the heck?
And you realize it's also 40 years
yes.
for the original line.
Yep, 40 years for original, 20 for 2000X. It's unbelievable.
Big year next year.
So, Dan, I want to point out something too on the Evil Lyn.
Sure.
So we listen to feedback. We do. I think this team, as well as a lot of other teams at Mattel, are very much in tune with the collectors and the rabid fans, right? And with Evil Lyn, the 2000 version deco scheme, that will be the first female figure where we updated her lower thigh and smoothed it out and kind of reduced the material that goes over the knee. So we've improved the knee so that it's not so much of a flap. And to be 100% clear, this was something that we wanted to do. It was just really more of a timing and making sure that we were able to do it, because we heard the feedback and it was actually things that we had been talking about internally. And we see this as an improvement to the product, and it's making it look more aesthetically pleasing. And what we were really trying to do was match the male visual of the knee a little bit closer. It was a challenge, and we're glad we did it. And I think it's just going to make our figures look that much better.
Excellent. All right. Well, I can't wait to check that one out. I didn't even notice that from just the promo images. So that is very cool. Awesome. All right. So I think that's all of the new Origins figures you sent me photos of. Is there anything else that you guys want to show me?
Anything else?
I mean,
well, yeah, sure. Okay, so first off, let me show you this. I'm gonna scroll down. Can you see what's on my shirt?
Oh, nice. And is that like the mini comic cover?
That is the mini comic cover for a particular character that I'm not a fan of.
What? How dare you?
Of all the MOTU figures, seriously? Oh, anyways, but I know certain people like him, and that's the cover to the mini comic that will be coming out with.
Yes. Oh my
God. Now, Mosquitor arms are not removable because of the mechanism, but you can't take off his waist, his lower legs pop off, hands, head. And what's great about the head is he has an alternate head.
Whoa.
So he will be a deluxe figure. And most importantly, if you look in his chest, he does have the pump feature. This one is a very early sample, so it's really full. So it doesn't really circulate as well as we wanted to, but we're going to get it in production. Now, a couple things, and let me show you this. So this is that beautiful VUM. Let me show you a little other accessory that he comes with. You're able to attach this blood effect, like he's sucking the blood out of He-Man onto his nose, into his mouth. So all this and an additional extra hand for the amazing price of $20.
Guys, whoa.
I don't think we're going to sell many of these, Dan. Maybe we'll sell one to a few people that like the character.
We're only going to sell one.
I don't care. If it's just me,
it's going to go to Dan.
All I wanted out of this figure was the blood pumping feature, and you're also giving me an extra head and a blood attachment. This is incredible, guys. I'm so happy with this.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think we're having a lot of fun. I know Sam Pack did a lot of great work on this product, and it shows. I mean, I think once you start having fun with the items like we are, you get this type of stuff. And I think it's that extra stuff that's just making the figures that much more compelling.
He looks incredible. He looks so good. Like that. Yeah, look at that piece. Oh my gosh. Like when that name showed up for pre-order, like it was like January 1st, everything dropped for pre-order. I saw that name and I was just like, no, like for real, we're getting Mosquitor already. I've been so excited to see what he looks like. I'm so happy to see the blood pumping feature, like as much as I loved the classics version, like that, I really felt like that was such a missing piece of this character. Cause that's what made the old toy cool. That's what I loved about the old toy was that, and it's such a classic Mattel action feature too. It's been in other toys, Gregory, the vampire bat and stuff like that. So I love it. I'm so happy. Thank you guys so much for revealing that here with me.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing. Well, there's been a lot of really exciting stuff shown off today. I don't think we can end this interview without at least talking about Masterverse a little bit, since there was just a big drop and we just basically saw that whole first wave of figures, which are all based on the Revelations series, correct?
Correct.
So we got the first wave revealed, which was He-Man, Skeletor, Evil-Lyn, Mossman, and Skelegod, which is the big surprise, I think, to everybody when we saw that. I don't know how much you guys can go into on this yet, but can we talk about Masterverse a little bit? Is there anything you can share with us?
Yeah, I will say, and also Battlecat.
Oh, and Battlecat, yes, Battlecat.
Yeah, we are really excited for this line to come out. Obviously it's something that we talked about. Sorry, my dog is very excited for this line to come out. Obviously it's something that we've been planning for a while. We kind of hinted at it last PowerCon. And, you know, it really is a lot of fun because it's different from Origins in many ways. You're going to see probably double the articulation. They're going to be in that 7-inch scale. We're going to open with these Revelation figures. You can expect another wave to happen later, probably in fall, around mid-fall. And then kind of it's where we go from there. So, you know, we're really excited about Revelation. We obviously can't talk about it more than what was just revealed this week. But there is certainly more coming and more characters coming. And, you know, Masterverse is something that we love and we can really expand on. And you're going to see more of it next year as well. So.
And I know you probably can't say a whole lot, but you're hinting at it a little bit, and you kind of talked about this at PowerCon. So it sounds like Masterverse can be open to other interpretations of these characters as well, not just Revelation.
I think, yeah, Revelation is certainly, you know, what we're most excited about right now.
Okay, sure.
If we think about next year being He-Man's 40th anniversary and the 40-year history of the franchise, there are a lot of great moments to pull from, and I think we would be remiss if we didn't look for opportunities there.
All right. Well, this is definitely something we'll circle back on then. We can talk about that in more detail maybe at the end of the year. Plus, PowerCon's coming up in September, so we'll have some
we got to say
too.
something for PowerCon. I want to say this, though, Dan, is that Terrence Higuchi, who is the lead designer on that product, is doing some amazing work. Skelegod, oh my goodness. The cape alone on that figure, when you see it, mwah, beautiful. Awesome. They're really, really quality product, really fun. The characters look great. I think I could say this about the show. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Really good.
We've seen some early footage. It's really, really cool.
Awesome. Yes, I'm excited. I love the stills that we saw already, so yeah. I'm hyped.
Yeah, but a really nice looking product line by Terrence Higuchi. A great show by some guy I've never heard of. I'm kidding.
Was it Kevin Clark?
Kevin something. Kevin something or other.
Kevin James.
But I mean, and a really great animation house. So it's really a nice product line and a very beautiful show.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to learn more. Can't wait to see more of those. But you guys did give us a lot of great information today, showed off a lot of awesome product. Was there anything else we wanted to... keep teasing me with that Mosquitor. I'm excited to get him. I can't wait. Anything else you guys want to say or show off or anything like that before we end off?
Just that, you know, like we did last year, we are looking forward to PowerCon this year. We are going to show a lot more stuff. And so stay tuned till then. But in the meantime, you know, we love hearing the feedback from the fans. We love spending time with you, Dan. And, you know, we're always open. So keep talking to us.
Excellent. All right. Well, Josh, Reuben, thank you guys so very much for taking the time to do this. We really, really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview, the information, and all of the new reveals here today. Be sure to stay tuned. And don't forget, PowerCon is coming up September 11th and 12th. Head on over to their website at the link in the video description. Don't want to miss out on those awesome exclusives. Until next time, everybody.
The Toys of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is available for pre-order now. This official guidebook is published by Dark Horse Books and features over 750 pages of photos and information on your favorite He-Man and She-Ra action figures. And don't miss out on the exclusive bundle pack available for pre-order now from PowerCon. This bundle includes the official guide as well as an exclusive character guide supplement that you won't be able to buy anywhere else. Don't miss out. You have the power.